Hi, my name is Eder Reales, and I'm gonna teach you this paper of IGCSE ICT. This is the paper May June 2021. His duration is about 2 hours. It's a paper theory. So this is the number that we have of reference. So let's start. We read the instructions. It's online, so there is write your name, the name, candidate name, answer in the space. So the total marks of the paper is 100. So let's start. We read the following are examples of personal data. So I mark this full name, that is correct. Capital of England is not correct, is not an example of personal data. Gender is an example of personal data. A number scene of garden is no example of personal data. So we have the 2 marks. So in this one, simple 2 inputs devices that could be used in a smartphone. So we have these options. I select microphone and touchscreen because these two are 2 input devices that are in a smartphone, are vital for a smartphone. So I select that 2 ones. Describe 4 characteristics of a table computer. So I write the first one. They use a small footprint. Important one. Also, all these type of devices use Wi-Fi. Uses touch screen, of course. Every single devices use touch screen. They are portable. They are small. They are portable for every person. So, in the fourth one, they ask you about checks of ATM. So, they ask describe the computer processing involves of check and ATM. So, the consumer, I write, the consumer is asked for their card in the ATM consumer bar computer is contact. So then the card details are searched in the bad database. So in this case the card is checked to see if it's valid, in date, or is stolen. So the customer is asked to enter their PIN. So the PIN is compared to the PIN stored on the chip. So B1. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages to a customer of visiting the bank without internet banking. So I write 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. Correct this. So the customers do not have to purchase expensive equipment safer than our transactions over the internet. Can't withdraw cash. Disadvantage. Consumers could waste time, increase traveling to mark more difficult for people who have the conditions to afford them over a smaller customer base at its local. So in the 5 question, we have this table and we have to analyze it. So write down the number of rows that are shown in the spreadsheet that contains the text. If you analyze the table, we can see that have the 6 rows. So question A. Question C. B. C. B. What is it? So Write down the number of columns that are shown in the spreadsheet that contain text. The 8 columns have 8 columns. So, in this particular question, they ask you to explain all these steps that we have to do. So, I write, you have the highlight to select each 4. Then you have to select 4 more cells, then select currency and coding and select $us icon. Next one. So we pass to the 6th question. In this they ask what is the meaning of FTF. So the meaning of this is a network protocol used for transfer files from one computer to another. So explain the upload and publish the content of website using FTP. So it connects to the FTP server using the FTP client program. This to log into the server using FTP username and password. So you locate the files on your computer. So next question. They asked me for 3 different features of web pages. So in this one we have to describe these methods. So I put the text that use a spell checker or grammar checker for the text to check it makes sense. The videos. So the videos is checking the videos run correctly, correct the video. The hyperlinks, click each hyperlinks to see what it takes to the correct web page, part of the website. So there are the 3 ones. In the 7 questions is an important one. So you have to describe what is the meaning of relational database. So there are tables that are linked in use of relationships to remove redundancy of data. Then in the point B you have to explain the difference between primary key and foreign key. The primary identifies the record and the primary key can be automatically index each table has, and one primary key whereas a table can contain for number of organic keys. That's the no question. Then they ask for specific situations that we are brought. So describe 4 of other uses of database software that the dentist can use to help him in his work. So there are a lot of formulas. So in this case we use the formulas can be created to calculate the cost of treatments. Charts can be created shown with missed appointments. This is the important one. By patients' images are stored on the X-ray to identify the patients and determine his treatment. We have the 6 marks. In the point D, we have to discuss the data and the effectiveness of these methods. So I put using different passwords for the computer systems made it more difficult to gain access to the full system. So a firewall is required to stop attacks from computers, so the firewall stops fraudulent sites attacking the computer. Other one is password files may not be backed up using the number of different passwords can become cumbersome. Regularly changing passwords means that passwords may be forgotten. In the point 8, we have to compare and contrast the features of a switch and a hub. So both are hardware devices and both have computers and devices connected to them both to send data to devices. Both are communication devices, but the hub is less secure than a switch. It distributes data. Switch checks the data packet Switch sends to the appropriate device. That's the answer. In the 9, a company operates from 8 to 19 hours. So to Monday to Friday. So we have to determine when an employee works from 9 to 13 time to Monday to Friday. So the first question is part-time. In the B1, we know that is our compressed hours. In the C1 is job sharing. In full 8-hour day, we know that is a flexible hour. Then in the point T, they ask you to think. I use these arrows, so I love for terminate. In the second one, in the parallel, I put the third row. In the direct are 2 rows, this row and the first row. And in the last one, in the pilot, is only 1 row, that is the last one. In the 11th part, they ask you to explain what it means the term of hacking. So we interrupt that is data can be changed and the data can be corrupted. They describe then 3 measures that could be hacked: use passwords, and the use of instructions attached to software spyware, and the use of 2 authentications. So then in the next question, in the 12th question, and they ask you for edited images. So we have to describe a software editing technique. So they give you the A, B, C, and D. So we have to determine and describe this. So in the case of the A, is resize the images, maintaining aspect ratio. The B is rotate the images 19 degrees anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, 200 degrees clockwise. In the C1, we reflect the images in the y-axis. And in the D1, the brightness is adjusted. In the 13, so we have airlines. So we have to determine his computer booking system. So in the point A, we have to have advantages of using a code rather than typing a full name. So it's quicker to enter to the data, and it's quicker to search for the data that the airline has. So in the B1, describe the importance of data accuracy when making a booking. If the number of persons is incorrectly entered, the number of seats will be wrong. So if the data is typed incorrectly, then booking may be rejected. Then they ask for describe the processing of outputs involved in making booking. So the details of the customer is displayed on the screen. Booking database is search for Machine Depot Airport. For the booking database is search for Machine Destination Airport. Is flight is correct, the data and the time. And that's it.